Alright, welcome back to another video. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. The market today is starting back from where we left it last week. Pretty much down across the board. And just as I predicted, not that I have great predictions, but it was probably an easy prediction, the market's still as volatile as it was. Which for option sellers like myself, and maybe you guys too, considering you're watching this video, we pretty much enjoy these volatile weeks because we can make more and premium selling options. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, stay tuned. We're going to look at some recent trades. I'm going to talk about my goal of making $100 a day every day this week selling options. And if you want to learn more and help out the channel because you like this kind of content, I do have a course where I go over all of the basics for selling options. I try to make it affordable and well worth your time and condense everything into this course, and I'm continuing to add to it as we go along. So check that out, it'll be linked down below in the description. And so like I mentioned at the start of this video, my goal for the week, and last week was a little bit similar. Last week I wanted to make $50 a day every single day, and I far surpassed that every single day when it came to selling options. The value of my portfolio was another story. But in terms of making at least $50 a day selling options and premium, I was able to accomplish that. So I wanted to do that again this week, but up the ante and double that. So my goal now is to make at least $100 a day each and every day this week in premium selling options. And if I'm able to consistently sell a covered call on the SPY each and every day, I think that's going to be pretty maintainable. If we look at some of the trades I made today, I sold a call on Robinhood. It expires this Friday at a strike price of $44, and I actually made $44 in premium off of that one. I sold a $10 put on Sofi for $24. This was rolling a previously sold put that was expiring this Friday. I actually just rolled it another week, and I rolled it down to $10. This netting me $24 after buying to close my other put. And then lastly, I sold a covered call on the SPY, made $80 on that. If things continue to play as they did today, this will probably expire worthless, and I'll just keep the $80 in premium and look for the next covered call to sell. And so for today, which by the way, I also sold a couple more calls on Sofi, which we'll talk about here in a second, $148 selling these three options today. So at least 1 out of 5 days we have succeeded my goal, and this is not counting some of the covered calls that I've sold on Sofi. And the reason you didn't see them in the spreadsheet here is because they were previously existing rows here. So I just added to the total premium because I sold more contracts. I'm actually surprised because Sofi had some really good news ending the week last week. If you're unaware, Sofi just announced another $3.2 billion agreement through its loan platform business, which seems to be a fast-growing segment of their business where they just acquire borrowers, and for acquiring those borrowers and putting them on these investment firms' books, they probably make some kind of fee. So this is a great way to make money and not have to use your capital, and basically have these other firms take all of the risk. So everyone thought this was good news, and you wouldn't notice it from the stock price today because it's down to almost 3% to end the day. And right now, I have tied up 2,000 shares of Sofi from selling covered calls. If you need a refresher on what a covered call is, we'll look at an example right here, and one I might be interested in adding to tomorrow. You can see I sold 7 at this $12 strike, and I sold another 7 at this $11.50 strike, both of these expiring this Friday. And so what this is saying is I am willing to sell 100 shares at $11.50 if the price of Sofi were to exceed $11.50 come expiration here. So if it does that between now and expiration, the person on the other end of this transaction has the right to purchase 100 shares from me at $11.50. And because I'm taking this risk and I'm capping how much I'm able to make in capital appreciation, I'm given some money in premium. So in this case, it would be $10 a contract. And my hope here is that these just expire worthless. So meaning come Friday, Sofi will never exceed $11.50, and I don't have to give up any shares of my Sofi, and I just take this premium and walk away. And so I've been doing this for some time now just to generate some extra income selling covered calls on Sofi, and so far it's been working pretty well. And this is barring any event that the market shoots up for some reason this week because it has been very volatile. And that's why I'm very hesitant selling a bunch of covered calls at once, because though this does sound like a lot, I'm selling 14 covered calls. I have 4,700 shares, so I could sell actually a lot more if I wanted to. And that's what I usually do. I usually just play it safe and sell a bit at a time, just in case something were to happen where SoFi stock recovers greatly, and then I can capitalize at a higher strike price. And then if you're doing the same and you really like SoFi stock and you want to acquire more shares, what you can do is take the premium that you gain from selling these calls and put it back into the stock and gain more shares. And then eventually, if you come up with another 100 shares, you could sell another contract, kind of adding this compounding effect. So what I'll keep my eye on throughout the rest of the week is just selling more covered calls on SoFi as the week progresses. Maybe even look into next week, though next week's a little bit iffy because we have earnings next week, and I like to not put all of my eggs in one basket, especially around earnings, even though the premiums are really, really good. And as for the $100 challenge, I'll keep you guys posted each day how I'm doing with this so you can follow along. And hopefully you enjoyed this content and find it at least entertaining. And I hope to see you in a future video.